Welcome back to ABC GH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the complex relationship dynamics between Willow Corinthos and Michael Corinthos, and why a potential reunion might be on the horizon despite their current separation. The inevitable collapse of Willow's new romance. The relationship between Willow Corinthos and Drew Quartermaine appears to be built on shaky foundations. What initially seemed like an exciting new chapter in Willow's life will likely reveal itself as a mirage of happiness. Drew's character flaws, currently hidden beneath his charming exterior, will eventually surface in dramatic fashion. Willow's infatuation with Drew represents a classic case of the grass is greener syndrome. She abandoned a stable, loving marriage with Michael, who consistently prioritized her happiness and well-being. Michael wasn't perfect. Their relationship had trust issues, but his intentions were always rooted in protection and care. As Drew's facade begins to crumble, Willow will face a harsh reality check. The qualities that initially attracted her to Drew, perhaps his spontaneity or charisma, will pale in comparison to Michael's reliability and genuine devotion. This awakening will trigger profound regret in Willow, who'll begin questioning her decision to dissolve her marriage. The emotional aftermath will be particularly intense because Willow didn't just leave a relationship, she dismantled a family unit. The weight of this realization might send her spiraling into a period of self-reflection and remorse. The Sasha factor. A rivalry reignited. The tension between Willow and Sasha Gilmore Corbin has been simmering for some time, but it's about to reach boiling point when the paternity truth emerges. This revelation will transform their already strained relationship into an outright feud charged with jealousy and resentment. While Willow might initially direct some anger toward Michael for his indiscretion with Sasha, her competitive nature will quickly shift the blame primarily onto Sasha. In Willow's mind, Sasha will be recast as the predatory temptress who took advantage of Michael's emotional vulnerability, a narrative that conveniently absolves Michael of responsibility. The prospect of Sasha potentially forming a lasting relationship with Michael during his recovery period will become Willow's worst nightmare. This fear will act as a powerful motivator, pushing Willow to reclaim her position in Michael's life before Sasha can solidify her connection with him. This competitive dynamic adds a complex layer to Willow's motivation for reconciliation. Is her desire to reunite with Michael driven by genuine love, or is it fueled by a determination to defeat Sasha in their ongoing rivalry? This question will likely plague both Willow and viewers as the storyline unfolds. Family restoration, the children's perspective. Perhaps the most compelling reason for Willow to pursue reconciliation with Michael centers around their children, Wiley and Amelia Corinthos. As Willow's relationship with Drew deteriorates, she'll be forced to confront the impact of her choices on these innocent young lives. The stability and security that Michael provided as a father figure will become increasingly apparent in his absence. Willow will observe how the family fracture affects Wiley and Amelia's emotional well-being, potentially manifesting in behavioral changes or expressions of confusion and sadness. This observation will trigger maternal protective instincts in Willow, along with a heavy burden of guilt. She'll begin to view her pursuit of personal happiness with Drew as selfish when weighed against her children's need for family cohesion and stability. The situation could become even more complicated if Sasha decides to involve Michael more deeply in her child's life. This development would create a blended family dynamic that threatens to permanently alter the family structure Willow once took for granted. The road to redemption. Willow's journey back to Michael won't be straightforward or immediate. Before any reconciliation can occur, she'll need to undergo significant personal growth and acknowledge her role in the marriage's dissolution. The coming months will bring a series of reality checks that force Willow to reassess her priorities and values. Each distant point with Drew will serve as a painful reminder of what she sacrificed for this new relationship. These perspective shifts will be gradual but profound, reshaping her understanding of love, commitment, and family. Michael's eventual return to the canvas, whether portrayed by Chad Duell or a recast actor, will create the necessary conditions for their paths to cross again. Their initial interactions will likely be tense and awkward, weighted with unresolved emotions and lingering resentments. However, time and circumstance have a way of healing wounds in Port Charles. The shared history between Willow and Michael, particularly their connection through their children, will provide natural opportunities for reconciliation conversations. As General Hospital continues to explore these complex relationship dynamics, viewers can expect emotional confrontations, unexpected alliances, and perhaps, eventually, a hard-won second chance at love for Willow and Michael. The journey promises to be filled with dramatic twists that will test both characters' resilience and capacity for forgiveness. Whether their potential reunion would represent a healthy new beginning or merely a retreat to familiar territory remains to be seen. What's certain is that Willow's current path, with Drew, is headed for a dramatic conclusion that will force her to reconsider everything she thought she wanted. Next, we will learn about the explosive secret threatening to shatter one of Port Charles's most enduring friendships. The revelation that Giovanni Gio Palmieri is actually Brooklyn Quartermain's biological son, and by extension, Olivia Quartermain's grandson, stands poised to detonate with catastrophic consequences for all involved, particularly the decades-long bond between Olivia and Lois Cerullo. The unwitting catalyst, Gio's role in the unfolding drama. The young musician who recently arrived in Port Charles with his violin case and charismatic smile remains blissfully unaware of the familial earthquake he's about to trigger. Giovanni Palmieri, or Gio, as he's affectionately known, has been captivating locals with his musical talents and easygoing demeanor, completely oblivious to his true heritage and the storm brewing around him. Behind that confident exterior and those soulful eyes that seem strangely familiar to many Quartermain observers lies the living embodiment of a secret that's been meticulously guarded for years. His very existence represents both a miracle and a potential catastrophe for the extended Quartermain clan. What makes Gio's position particularly poignant is his complete innocence in this web of deception. While navigating the already complicated social landscape of Port Charles, he's unknowingly walking into a family drama of operatic proportions. His casual interactions with Olivia, perhaps complimenting her legendary lasagna or exchanging pleasantries at the Metro Court, take on a heartbreaking dimension when viewed through the lens of their actual relationship. The question that hangs in the air, like the final note of one of Gio's violin solos, is whether he might ultimately become the bridge that repairs what's about to break. Could his natural charm and the undeniable biological connection he shares with Olivia serve as the foundation for reconciliation? Or will the circumstances of his concealment prove too painful for Olivia to move past? Some in Port Charles whisper that blood runs thicker than betrayal. Perhaps the joy of discovering a grandson, even belatedly, might eventually outweigh the anguish of having been denied his presence for so many years. Gio's reaction to learning about his true parentage will undoubtedly play a crucial role in how this family drama ultimately resolves. The friendship hanging in the balance. The impending revelation threatens to obliterate one of Port Charles' most authentic and enduring friendships. Olivia and Lois, those Bensonhurst sisters from another mister, have weathered countless storms together, from romantic disasters to family crises, always emerging with their bond intact, often strengthened by the shared adversity. Their friendship has been characterized by brutal honesty, unwavering support, and the kind of shorthand communication that comes only from decades of shared history. They finish each other's sentences, know exactly when to offer tough love versus tender comfort, and have served as each other's moral compass through Port Charles's endless parade of ethical dilemmas, which makes Lois's decision to withhold this monumental secret all the more baffling and potentially unforgivable. This isn't a minor omission or white lie, it's the systematic concealment of a blood relationship that would have fundamentally altered Olivia's life experience. All those milestone moments, first steps, first words, childhood illnesses and triumphs forever lost to Olivia, while Lois stood by silently, making daily choices to perpetuate the deception. The betrayal cuts especially deep, given Olivia's well-known devotion to family. Her identity is inextricably linked to her role as matriarch, fiercely protective of her children and grandchildren. To learn that she has been denied the opportunity to extend that same love and protection to Gio, to have been robbed of years of grandmother-grandson bonding, may prove an insurmountable hurdle, even for someone with Olivia's capacity for forgiveness. When the truth finally erupts, expect a confrontation of seismic proportions. Olivia Quartermain's legendary temper, usually reserved for those who threaten her loved ones, will likely be unleashed with volcanic fury upon the woman she once trusted implicitly. The Metro Court might need reinforced walls to contain the explosion. Lois's precarious position and questionable judgment. What could possibly have motivated Lois Cerullo to maintain such a potentially friendship-ending secret? The music producer has always prided herself on her straight-shooting, no-nonsense approach to life. Her Brooklyn-bred authenticity has been her calling card in both business and personal relationships. Yet in this critical matter, she's chosen deception over transparency, secrecy over honesty. Perhaps Lois convinced herself she was protecting Brooklyn from judgment, or shielding her daughter from having to face difficult questions about her choices. Maybe she feared the Quartermain influence would overwhelm Gio's upbringing, diluting the values she hoped would shape him. Or possibly, the initial decision to keep quiet snowballed over time, growing from a temporary measure into a seemingly irreversible position. Whatever her reasoning, Lois has placed herself in an untenable situation where every day that passes without disclosure compounds her culpability. Each casual conversation with Olivia about family matters, each holiday celebration where Gio's absence goes unmentioned, each opportunity to come clean that slips by, all serve to deepen the eventual betrayal. The irony is that Lois likely never anticipated Gio's arrival in Port Charles. His appearance has set in motion a countdown to revelation that cannot be stopped. DNA has a funny way of asserting itself, and in a town as gossip-hungry as Port Charles, secrets have a remarkably short shelf life. When confronted, Lois will undoubtedly attempt to justify her actions. She'll cite maternal protection, complicated circumstances, and possibly even claim she was waiting for the right time to reveal the truth. But these explanations may ring hollow against the backdrop of years of deliberate concealment. Ned Quartermain finds himself in an unenviable position as well, potentially caught between his ex-wife Lois and his cousin Olivia. His diplomatic skills will be tested as never before as he attempts to navigate this family minefield without causing further damage to already strained relationships. Olivia's current blissful ignorance. At present, Olivia Quartermain moves through her days at the Metro Court with characteristic energy and warmth, completely unaware of the familial bombshell ticking away beneath the surface of her seemingly perfect life. She manages the hotel with efficiency, fusses over her family with typical Italian-American exuberance, and enjoys those treasured moments of friendship with Lois, reminiscing about their Bensonhurst days. There's a particular poignancy in watching Olivia now, knowing what awaits her. Her animated conversations with Lois over espresso, their shared laughter at inside jokes from decades past, the casual way she includes Lois in family gatherings. All these moments are shadowed by the impending revelation that will likely shatter her trust in her oldest friend. Olivia's relationship with Brooklyn has always been complicated but fundamentally loving. As her daughter-in-law and the mother of her grandchildren, Brooklyn occupies a special place in Olivia's heart. How will she reconcile the knowledge that Brooklyn participated in keeping Gio's existence from her? Will her maternal instincts extend to understanding Brooklyn's difficult choice, or will she view it as a dual betrayal? The cruel irony is that Olivia has likely crossed paths with Gio already, perhaps exchanging pleasantries or even having extended conversations, completely unaware that she was speaking to her own flesh and blood. Those innocuous interactions will take on painful significance in retrospect, becoming moments of what could have been that may haunt her for years to come. When the truth finally breaks through, perhaps through a medical emergency requiring family history, an inadvertent slip, or the increasingly common DNA test that reveals unexpected connections, Olivia's reaction will be nothing short of volcanic. Her Italian temper, usually reserved for those who threaten her loved ones, will erupt with a force that could permanently alter Port Charles's social landscape. The inevitable revelation and its aftermath. The revelation of Gio's true identity isn't a question of if but when. In Port Charles, secrets have a remarkably short shelf life, especially those involving Quartermain DNA. The town has witnessed countless paternity bombshells over the decades, but this particular revelation carries unique implications due to the friendship at stake. When the truth finally emerges, perhaps through a medical emergency requiring family history, an inadvertent slip, or one of those increasingly common DNA tests that reveal unexpected connections, the fallout will be immediate and far-reaching. Olivia's initial reaction will likely combine shock, disbelief, and then a white-hot anger directed primarily at Lois. The confrontation between these two strong-willed women promises to be one of General Hospital's most emotionally charged scenes in recent memory. Expect Olivia to unleash decades of pent-up Bensonhurst fury, while Lois attempts to defend what may ultimately be indefensible. The Metro Court restaurant might need to clear the dinner service when these two finally have it out. Beyond the immediate explosion lies the more complex question of whether forgiveness is possible. Can a friendship with roots as deep as theirs survive such a fundamental breach of trust? Is there any explanation Lois could offer that would justify robbing Olivia of years with her grandson? For Olivia, the pain goes beyond simple anger. It's the irretrievable loss of first steps, first words, childhood illnesses, and triumphs. All those milestone moments that can never be recaptured. No explanation, however heartfelt, can restore those lost years. The revelation will ripple through the entire Quartermain clan, forcing everyone to take sides or attempt neutrality in a situation where middle ground seems impossible. Ned will face perhaps the greatest challenge, caught between loyalty to his ex-wife and cousin while trying to minimize the damage to family harmony. As for Gio himself, discovering his true heritage will undoubtedly trigger an identity crisis of significant proportions. His reaction to learning about his biological connection to the Quartermaines, and specifically to Olivia, could ultimately determine whether healing is possible. If he embraces his newfound grandmother with openness and forgiveness, he might become the bridge that allows these fractured relationships to mend. In the world of Port Charles, where redemption narratives are as common as coffee at Kelly's Diner, there's always the possibility that even this seemingly unforgivable betrayal might eventually lead to reconciliation. But the path to that potential healing will be long, painful, and strewn with the wreckage of what once seemed an unbreakable bond between two women who shared everything except the truth about Gio Palmieri, the grandson hidden in plain sight.